right. Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
It's Frank. Welcome to Tacobout Live with Frank and Manny here on Taco Tuesday. It is November 9th already. And so it's a wonderful Taco Tuesday. If you noticed, our tacos are missing, though. Not that we didn't order them, right? But we kind of
we wolfed them down.
we kind of scarfed them down already. So anyway, I just want to thank you folks so much for joining us here today on Tacobout Live with Frank and Manny. We got a lot to talk about, but first we also want to make sure that we honor our veterans today. This Thursday is Veterans Day, and so both Frank and I are veterans. So I want to thank you for your service there, Frank. And
thank you, sir.
Thank you. And we both served in the United States Army years ago, and so things have changed a lot. I've changed a lot as well, and so I used to be a mean, lean fighting machine, Frank, when I was in the Army.
Yeah, when I went in, bro, I was too skinny. They actually put me on a fatten up program, bro. Yeah, I was just too thin, too skinny. I was a military policeman. I got pushed around a little bit in boot camp, and so the commander said, "You got to fatten up, boy."
Yeah, actually, it's funny. I was, believe it or not, I was 40 pounds underweight when I joined, and I actually had to test take a strength test.
Oh yeah.
To make sure that I wasn't a weakling. They actually had that listed, and because I believe when I only weighed 120 pounds, I joined at 17.
Dang, bro.
And so I was on that weight that I was at, my height and everything they actually had it listed there. I don't think they could do that now because it'll offend somebody. But back then they had it listed weakling, and so I had to actually lift my weight, and I had to bench press my own weight, and so I was able to, and so they let me in.
Wow, that's pretty. I guess it was common back then, bro, to look at stuff like that, and man, everybody's melting nowadays, man. I was, in Sam's yesterday in San Antonio, and I'm gonna have to post it, man. Coolest display ever, bro. Attack helicopters, little toy soldiers with guns.
Oh wow.
Anti-aircraft missiles.
Oh,
so
man.
It's a perfect Christmas gift for that little boy or out there, little girl.
Yeah.
Because don't want to put anybody in any social constructs.
Or Hanukkah.
Correct, bro. So yeah. Anyways, I saw that up there and I was like, "What? Good." There's a little bit of a bastion of common sense out here in liberal city, San Antonio, Bexar County, home of some of the most corrupt politics in America.
Well, but it's surprising though. The 118th district over there, right, went red.
And let's qualify that. Man. Let's get started here with the whole "let's vote red, keep it red" kind of stuff here.
Yeah.
Gotta look at the individual. Look at the qualifications. Is that person establishment? Who's supporting them? Who's endorsing them? Who's giving them the money? Who's running around with them? If they're establishment, they're more than likely it's because they've sealed the deal. They've signed a dotted line. They have sold out for the establishment folks. And so the reason I say about watch out with the whole keep it red thing, man, you know as well as the general sentiment is let's vote, not Democrat. Let's not vote Democrat. Let's not vote socialist because they're freaking ruining our country.
Yep.
With their policies. And it's just the way people just get on that cattle car and just drive over the cliff. But anyways, look at the individual, and so I'll be the first to say, I'm not gonna buy into that mantra. Keep it red, because right now it's primary season. We're gearing up for primary season, Manny. We're gonna have to select wisely, choose wisely. We don't want a bunch of yes men. We don't want a bunch of butt kissers, lickers getting elected into office. We need fighters. We need warriors. We need patriots.
We need statesmen, to tell you the truth, as well. I mean, in my opinion,
patriots,
bro. Because there's really no more statesmen, bro. There a lot of them are politicians. We got a few running for office, and that I believe are true statesmen, really care about our country, and speaking about choosing wisely, this we didn't get a really chance to talk about it, but this past constitutional amendment vote kind of went into, well, I didn't like the way it went with that second proposition, with that propositional 2, whatever, if you voted for it, well, then that's, that was your decision, of course, your freedom, your right. but I was completely against it because it's amazing to me, Frank. We got people that continually complain about taxes, property taxes, all these things, but yet that proposition, second proposition there, was going to do just that: raise people's property taxes, raise spending.
Yeah.
Increase spending.
And so we kind of, our last telecast, which was actually our broadcaster, which was on Election Day Tuesday, we told you about two critical ones. Definitely, I mean they're important, but there are two critical ones: Proposition 2, Proposition 3. And so Proposition 2 had to do with granting the counties authority that the cities, the state already have to raise debt through bonds, bro.
Wow.
Through notes, promise notes, whatever you call them, bonds. And of course, when they do that, we the people, we the taxpayers, the property taxpayers, mainly are gonna have to pay.
Right.
Now there's something to be said. Okay, well, sales tax and all that stuff. You got to get down in the weeds. How does all that get divvied up? But specifically, the counties now in Texas are gonna have the power to come up with a project that they deem worthy of their collective minds. And if you're in Democrat-controlled country, socialist ideology, then you're screwed because it's going to be pet projects that are going to benefit them.
And that's kind of a bummer because a lot of times, people move out of the city limits to the county to buy land so that they don't have to put up with a lot of what local city governments do. But now they're going to be affected as well, right? Because this could actually lead to like eminent domain type stuff, right?
Man, that's getting down in the weeds. I'm just looking. I mean, it could, bro. Because look, I mean, think about it. Just follow it on its natural development along that continuum. So your local friendly neighborhood Democrat controlled commissioners court decides to come up with a project. And there's something to be said. Is it going to be something that the citizens vote on? Like, remember our school bonds,
right?
Our city bonds, we vote on them. So I'm hoping that'll be the checks and balances to this, that we would have a voice. But anyways, I mean, just by the turnout, you can't count on the electorate coming out to vote some craziness down. I mean,
so you're saying we had a low turnout?
Oh man, I got the breakdown right here. So for Proposition 2 in Valverde County, go search it, in your county clerk, elections administrator page, whatever, at your local county. You can go to the state office of Secretary of State under the elections portion there. But anyways, Valverde County Proposition 2, voting for 56.51%, 560 votes, against 423, 42.68%. And we had roughly about 900, almost 988, 990 people voting. 900, under 1,000 people voted, bro.
Wow.
In a county that has close to 50,000 people.
Wow.
So 1,000 people decided to vote for the other 49,000 people, bro. Whatever, 44, 45, whatever it is. But anyways, so that was Proposition 2. So we're gonna get taxed, and that continuum we're talking about, taxes go up. People can't pay their taxes. The county comes and slaps a move to seize the property.
So what do you think? What do you think it convinces people to vote for those type of propositions? I mean, you looked at the lingo. I looked at the lingo, and I mean, I saw infrastructure there, things like that. But in my mind, I'm already thinking, look, infrastructure costs money, projects cost money. So the money just doesn't appear out of thin air. I mean, that's the way the Biden administration thinks. That's the way a lot of Democrats think. But why do people continually vote for things like that?
Well, first of all, the low voter turnout, bro. And so that's one of those things where people don't turn out to vote. Second of all, people aren't researching.
Yeah.
When we live in a world of sound bites, 30-second videos, freaking latest TikTok challenge or whatever, bro.
Yeah.
Whatever's going on. People, and I get it. You got kids. You're raising kids. You're living life, taking them to games and all this other stuff. But the children, the grandchildren you care so much about are going to be affected by the decisions of policymakers, lawmakers, bro. They're going to be, and so I was looking at a picture we're setting up here. Dimmitt County, bro. 60 gallons is now the limit, or $255 is now the limit for fuel for truckers in Dimmitt County,
wow.
Carrizo Springs, man. 60
60
gallons.
gallons.
So rationing is coming our way. Just this morning, I took a picture where the Biden administration is considering shutting down more pipelines, bro.
Yeah, yeah, and
So-
in
so-
Michigan, right? I think in Michigan they
Yeah,
want to, yeah.
So they asked the spokesperson, and she says, "Yeah, we're considering it." Because Ducey with Fox asked, "Are you going to close it?" Well, we're not going to close it. Are you considering closing it? Yeah, we're considering
Well,
closing it.
they said the same thing that when Biden first got into office was that there's going to be no mandates, right? And then next, you know what? Boom, mandates all over the place.
So find you your nearest local Democrat and ask them how they're liking those.
But you know what's
How they're liking those price hikes.
well, but you know what's amazing, Frank? I looked at these elections in Virginia, right? You know, Virginia now has a Republican governor,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of bouncing all over the place right now. But
We
you know,
are.
it has a Republican governor and a Republican lieutenant governor, first black female, right? Lieutenant governor, right? And but it's amazing to me that over next little few states over in New Jersey, it was a tight race, you know, between a Republican and a Democrat, and the Republican almost won. But it's amazing to me, Frank, that people even looking at all these things, because those type of states on the East Coast and on the West Coast have some of the highest gas prices, have some of the highest taxes going on right now, and yet people continually still vote Democrat because of the narrative that was preached against Trump back in during the election time.
And we need that counter, bro. We need that counter. So that's a perfect little segue right here into, you know, how do we take back the narrative? How do we take back our country, bro? Because, you know, that's what we're talking about here. How do we take back our country?
Right.
How do we, you know, stop this erosion, this raping and pillaging of our rights and our sovereignty? You know, and so this is my thought right here, bro. You got to get involved at the ground level.
Yep.
I got heartburn with the Republican Party. I got some serious problems. And before I forget, don't send your money into the RNC. Send in your money to your candidate.
Right.
Don't send it to the RNC. Kevin McCarthy and those folks, they're going to dole it out to their puppets, people they can pull strings on. Yeah. So don't give to the RNC, RNCC. Give it to the candidates.
Right. Right.
And so that's the first thing. You got to get involved. Tonight, 6:30 p.m. Tonight, Rudy's, we're having a meeting, 6:30 p.m. The Valverde Republican Party. We need you to show up, folks. We need you to come out. We'll do a little bit of post-election analysis. There's 17 precincts, 17 in Valverde County, and I only have 5 precinct chairs. That means 12 precinct chair positions are open for people that are tired of the BS. People are tired of the way our nation is going. You want to do something, push away from that desk, push away from that keyboard, get off the couch.
Yeah.
Attend a meeting. We got to take it back. Yeah, I understand folks are sick and tired of Republican antics. They're looking a lot like the Democrat Party, but we got to take it back from within. We got to excise the cancer, which is the establishment, the progressives within the Republican Party. It starts at the ground level. We also need engagement committees. I'll give you a perfect example, Manny. We have the Veterans Day Parade coming up here in Del Rio.
Right.
I mean, we can do it as individuals. We can do it as an organization, whatever. But this is an opportunity for folks to get involved with the Valverde County Republican Party. And some folks might say, well, what do I want to get involved? Read the platform, man. I mean, that's the only thing that keeps me hanging on. Our platform is God-centric. It's biblically
right.
centric.
The Republican platform.
The Republican platform. Right. So if anything, folks, we got to start the change from within. There are at least 13 positions up for re-election at the county level alone, bro. Out of those 13, 11 are held by Democrats.
Yeah.
Are you happy with the way Democrats are running our county, our city, our state, our nation? Are you happy? If you are, then stay home and.
But you know the thing is, I think you know, and I hate to say it, Frank, but you know, people generally forget things right away. Mm-hmm. You know, they stop paying attention. You know, we still got a border crisis going on. Every day I drive by Stripes, and there's you know, we're still catching anywhere. The Border Patrol's still catching over 100 per day.
Yeah.
Here in Del Rio,
5,000 nationally per day,
right.
bro.
Yeah, and many of them are being released. Over 90% of them are being released into our communities, folks. And you know, I pass by Stripes there on Veterans about every day, and I still see loads of aliens, you know, illegal aliens out there, you know, but people are just walking around now ignoring it like it's normal, bro.
I'm working on a little video, bro, that I gotta throw out there. But Saturday, had a little project going on in South Del Rio, and so I said, yeah, let me take a drive by the local cartel charity here, the cartel pipeline spigot here in the United States.
You're not
which
talking
is,
about the Valverde Humanitarian Border Coalition.
yeah, Valverde Border Humanitarian Coalition.
Yeah.
I'm talking about that cartel affiliate. So, anyways, bro, I saw a little red car. So I went and I saw some people. So I go and turn around, was getting my gear ready. And by the way, Wes, thanks, man. Appreciate it, bro. Got it working. Wes, shout out. So, anyways, I see a little red car come around the corner, bro. Zzz, just zips right in, pulls right up in front of the Humanitarian Coalition there. And I had seen people hanging out with their infamous little manila envelopes.
Right.
And they race in the car. I think it was 5 or 6 people racing the car. And then it takes off. And you know what it reminded me of? A load up, bro.
Yeah.
It just the way we used to see. I worked undercover plainclothes unit at the Border Patrol station here. And that's exactly what they do, man. You pull up to a location, man, get in as fast as you can, and get out. And so that's what I saw. So like,
so that Humanitarian Coalition is basically a staging area.
It's a staging area, yeah. Yeah, for you Border Patrol guys out there, the Valverde Border Humanitarian Coalition is a staging area for the cartel organizations. So anyways, this little red smuggling vehicle comes in, bro, zips out, and so I get in behind it. And I got it on video. You know, we're driving, go over the old past McCoy's, make a left on that back street, go all the way down to, I think it's 15th Street, or it's 15th, make a left into the International Airport parking lot. And so I got it on video, bro. Drives in, car pulls up, lady driver's giving them instructions. They all get out, and they walk into the International Airport on a Saturday. And she zips off again, bro. And I saw her do this several times, man.
Wow.
And so, as I was pulling away from there, I saw a couple of people hanging out in front, and they had their little packets. Hey, what country are you from? They were both Cubans, man. They were both Cubans. But anyways, you know, hey, whether you're coming or not, we talked to, shout out Jorge Loredo. You know, we interviewed him.
Yeah.
Cuban, immigrated lawfully into the country through the system, through the process. I was speaking with another gentleman who was denied to bring his wife over, bro. He's a U.S. citizen living in Mexico. Shout out to all them. And so you got to go through the process if you want to do it legally, and wait years and spend a lot of money, deal with attorneys and deal with the system, the bureaucracy. Meanwhile, invaders are just walking across.
Yeah.
Bro. Walking across. Yeah. But anyways, real quick before I forget, man, because my span will just go. Yeah, we're talking real quick about the Veterans Parade stuff. Look, you know, we could, if we're going to do stuff, folks, we need help. I need help. I need help with the Republican Party of Texas. I need a vice chair, and I need 12 other precinct chairs, and I need committee heads. You know, for instance, the parade. You want to get involved? That's something an engagement committee can take care of. Let's get a float. Let's get it ready. Let's show our red, white, and blue colors. You know, I'll probably jump in big red text here if I can get the form in by 12 o'clock today. And you know, hey, it'll be a one-man parade. You know, kind of like you ever see that movie, The Distinguished Gentleman, bro? Eddie Murphy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's running for office, and he's in a Jewish neighborhood, so he's talking all the Jewish jargon, and he goes into a whatever Haitian neighborhood, talking Haitian over there or whatever, bro. That's a funny movie.
Well, maybe we'll fill out the form together. We'll put it as Talk About It Live or whatever. U.S. Border Patriots, no matter. And I'll jump on my bike and I'll ride there behind you.
Yeah,
whatever,
bro.
You know?
I'll have my music going. You know. Anyways, we need help, brother. We need help. We got to take it back. I just mentioned the 13 slots at the county level. There's slots available at the hospital district. Are you satisfied with your medical care? Are you happy with the quality? Are you confident that our money, we get taxed for the hospital district here?
Yeah.
You know that it's being spent wisely. You need to get involved. There's slots available there. School board. Are you satisfied with the brainwashing and indoctrination that's taking place in our country?
You know, and it's interesting you say that, Frank. You know, because I hear people complaining all the time, all the time,
bro.
You know, and we got all those chants going across America now. You know, about let's go Brandon, this and that. But, you know, chanting is one thing and saying it is one thing, but doing something about it, you know, there needs to be action involved. You need, you know, just, you know, like the scripture says, you know, faith without works is dead.
Yeah.
You know, and So you gotta get out there and get involved in your community.
Yes.
You know, I used to tell agents a lot. You know, new agents that would come here, you know, to this area, and they're like, "Man, I can't stand it. I don't like it. This and that, this and that." And I go, "Why don't you get involved in the community,
Yes.
man, and make it better?" You know, it doesn't take much.
And that's exactly what I would say, bro. I would say invest in your community, grow some roots.
Yeah.
You know, reach outside your comfort zones here. Hey, well, my wife doesn't like it and stuff. Look, hook her up. There's groups of people. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be. You know, and what I would always encourage people is, look, it's great to have border patrol friends,
Yeah.
but don't become
Yeah,
clannish.
yeah,
You know, reach out, get involved in a community, get involved in,
Your congregations, whatever.
youth
yeah.
activities,
Yeah,
sports activities, you know, coaching, mentoring. Get involved. Don't be clannish, because it's like that saying goes, bro. When a police officer trainee comes in, his journeyman tells him, it's us against the world.
Yeah.
And then we don't like that police department, so it's just our police department. And we don't like that squad, so it's just our squad. And we don't like the guys in our shift, so it's just you and I, kid. And I don't like you. After a while, you just don't like nobody. You got to have friends out there in the world, folks. And it doesn't, spread some diversity in there. And I'm not talking freaking politically correct here. I'm just talking about make friends, establish relationships with people in your community.
You know, in my faith and Judaism, we have a saying. Actually, it's not a saying; it's an ideology. It's called Tikkun Olam, which means repairing the world. Oh. And the mission, the goal is to repair your immediate world around you.
Yeah.
You know, and then hopefully, in prayerfully, it spreads.
Uh-huh.
You know, but it starts, of course, with the man first, with the inner man, and then it takes a hold of other people around you. You know, so you're always working to make your immediate world a better place. You know, so that it would affect others. And also be a better world be passed on to the next generation, you know. But when we look at what's happening in our communities, folks, there's still a border crisis still going on. There's still chaos going on in the government. You know, taxes are gonna get higher. You know, we talked the other day to a gentleman who I can't remember if he owns the meatpacking plant or if he's a boss or over there or
I think he was involved with a meatpacking out of Amarillo.
Out of Amarillo, and he was explaining to us that they're hiring people on the spot, you know, but nobody wants to work. And he was explaining that the reason that meat prices are so high is because they don't have enough people to basically pack the product,
yes,
you know, and to send it out. So if they kill more cows or slaughter more cows or whatever, more beef. For more beef, all that stuff is going to go to waste, so they have to raise the prices on what they do have.
Yeah.
But what is amazing to me is that he was explaining that nobody wants to work.
Yeah.
You know, and even it's a job with benefits. It had 401k, paid time off, a pretty good salary. You know, I think it was over $20 an hour, and they're saying, he was even telling us that now they're. You know, it's really, if you want to work, we'll hire you, is basically what he was saying. But and then I was reading this morning, Frank, that 52% of adult children are living with their parents still.
Yeah.
In the United States.
Well, now I can kind of understand, bro. I mean, in a sense, you got your basement dwellers kind of,
But it's the highest since the Great Depression.
Yeah. And so a lot of it's the conditioning, the social engineering that's been going on. That's what I'm talking about. You know, get involved with your school boards because, these folks have gone from teaching basics to indoctrination, man.
Oh yeah.
You know, a lot. Not all of them. Certainly not all of them. There's some counties and school boards out there that are still very much, freedom-minded, patriotic. But there's some that have bought into it hook, line, and sinker, bro. They just swallowed. They didn't just drink the Kool-Aid, man. They just, they strapped it on their back and they've got it an IV going into their vein here with all that Kool-Aid. But anyways, it's bad because it's been a product, Manny, of decades and decades of engineering our young people.
Right.
And somebody said it, man. I think it was what's his name, dude? The scary looking guy that's on the Democrat, Schumer, man.
Oh,
evil looking dude. Anyways, he basically said we control their minds the children. We control their minds. We control the children, man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I mean, that's why the Word of God says, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are pure, etc. Fill your head,
Right.
Fill your spirit with that. Think and dwell upon these things.
Yeah.
And the other one is, of course, the city council, man. The city council. There's a couple of mayoral candidates, folks that are talking about becoming mayors, wanting to run for mayor here. Supposedly, our current mayor is thinking about running for Congress, the 23rd congressional district here, against our establishment globalist Tony Gonzalez, Republican guy, and so we'll see what happens with that race. There was a Republican that actually jumped in against Tony Gonzalez. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, the lady that ran, a woman that ran against him before, Alma.
Okay.
Arredondo Lynch.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
so we may need to talk about.
Yeah, hey man, just wanted to throw it out
in the
there.
near future.
Yeah. Anyways, well, praise God, bro. Talking real quick about the amendments, the proposition that would forbid churches from closing passed.
Oh yeah, I read that. Praise the
Yeah.
Lord. Yeah.
So that was proposition.
And that just doesn't affect
3.
churches. That affects all religious establishments.
Entities,
Yeah.
So it could be food pantries that are religiously based.
Right.
Counseling religiously based.
Right.
The only thing with that, bro, I mean, we see it right here, the Valverde Border Humanitarian Coalition, man.
Yeah.
That's a supposedly faith-based, entity
Yeah,
there.
supposedly, but they're making big bank, and again we talked about it. We mentioned it a little bit last broadcast, and again I kind of want to try to explore it a little bit more. I was hoping to explore this past week. When Lieutenant Colonel Alan West was here, and we got a chance to meet with him. That idea that he had about revoking the licenses of these NGOs, and then properly vetting them, and he came out, and said that this local NGO here is a travel agency for illegal aliens in the cartels.
Travel agency.
And basically that's what they are, folks. So I'm letting you know, if I were you, I wouldn't give any money to them. They make money.
Yeah.
When you're talking about that woman in that little red car giving people rides back and forth to the airport, that's not for free.
Yeah.
They're not doing this out of the goodness and the kindness of their heart, because if they were, folks, I'm letting you know, if they were, we would have had some programs for our homeless veterans. We would have some programs there at that location for underprivileged families, right? The Biden administration is talking about giving illegal alien families $450,000 per family, right? That supposedly were separated from their children. Thankfully, there are some Republicans in office that are standing up against them, but folks, I can't believe that average people aren't really saying anything.
So here's my question, bro. Like, for instance, the city, the county, whoever's been involved, our governing bodies have been involved with allowing the Valverde Border Humanitarian Coalition cartel charities to operate out of a taxpayer-funded facility.
Yeah.
To smuggle invaders to
facilitate the furtherance of illegal immigration.
Yep, aiding and abetting is something that we would use in our terminology within the Border Patrol.
Right.
So what if you had a group of religious, faith-based leaders who said, we're going to take young men in this community and apply biblical principles, absentee father type of situations,
right.
or orphaned, single parent home type of situations. Hey, we're going to set up a mentoring, program for young men using Scripture.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, group of women filled with the Spirit of God want to do the same thing for young ladies.
Right.
Would you think that the city would allow us to use that facility?
I doubt it.
You think that
I don't think they would, to tell you the truth.
we don't think, and the only way we're going to find out is put our, foot to the ground and
try it,
and try it.
Yeah.
And when I retired from the Border Patrol, man, that's actually something I wanted to do. Was
I'll even
get
go
involved.
I'll even go to something even a little bit more simple. just teaching young kids how to fill out job applications. To put up programs to teach kids. When I was younger, I don't know if they did this in your high school, but we had classes where they would teach you just that, how to fill out job applications and how to handle the job interview.
You remember? Yeah. And so of course, duplication of effort, man. There's stuff going on out there, but we don't want to duplicate effort unless it's just ungodly and it needs to
Right,
be
but I mean,
it
but
needs to
but,
be
you,
replaced.
but faith based means that it'll have that scriptural
Yes,
background,
the background.
and then of course the gospel will be infused with that, but the reality is that before all this illegal invasion happened, Frank, I've never heard of the Valverde Border Coalition doing anything else for the community.
Yeah.
And they may have, but it may have been on a,
Well,
on a,
it was stood up, bro, for the George Soros caravans.
Oh, well,
That's
yeah.
when it was stood up. It was
Yeah.
to deal with the invasion, and it was not to repel. It was not to discourage. It was to facilitate the movement of. They call it resettlement. It was
Yeah.
to facilitate resettling the third world, resettling other nations into our country, into the United States.
But they look at them as refugees. If you go to their website, they describe it. They're not described as illegal aliens. They're described as refugees.
Yeah.
And so, but my gripe too, Frank, is that we have a lot of religious people here in this community, giving them money, helping them. I was asked the other day by that gentleman that we had that we were visiting with from Amarillo.
Yeah.
He was asking me, religiously speaking. He says, how do you think this helps allowing these people to come in like this illegally? And I said, we have to ask that question to ourselves. Does this really help the illegal alien, by allowing open borders? And the reality, folks, it doesn't. It doesn't. And we've explained this before, but if this is your first time joining us, when illegal aliens come in, and they go and they resettle here in the United States. First, they're living in fear about being deported. Second, they basically become indentured servants for the rest of their lives to the cartels, to the smuggling organizations. Third, they take up fraudulent documents, and they take advantage of a lot of the programs and welfare programs and all these other things, and it costs a lot of money, and their monies actually don't even stay here. The most of the monies go back to the country of origin or to the smuggling organizations that brought them here, and then they also because people always told me, well, a lot of these illegal aliens, they come and they live in their own communities and this and that, so crime is real low, domestic violence is real low. No, folks, it's not reported.
Yeah.
There's a difference in that.
Yeah, they want to avoid detection. It's something we've seen before. And honestly, what's their propensity, the likelihood that they're gonna want to assimilate, bro? I mean, they're buying into the jargon, they're buying into the rhetoric.
Yeah.
I speak with people from across the nation. There's a eventually perhaps there's some, they will absorb some American, idealistic traits.
Right.
Some of it, bro. But the naturalization process was intended and developed and designed, with a purpose in mind, bro.
Yeah.
And part of it was, as much as, the DHS even said don't use the word assimilate,
Right.
but they were supposed to assimilate
Right.
into our society.
Yep.
And to
Every other country expects that, Frank.
yeah, I mean, Tucker Carlson was over at Romania, some Middle Eastern, Eastern Europe country out there, and immediately, people coming through the border barrier.
Yeah.
There ain't no immigration hearing or anything. Hey, we saw you coming illegally.
Yeah.
Get back.
Yeah.
And they turn it right back.
Yeah.
The border enforcement officials in those nations have the power to immediately repel them. Why? Because they saw it.
Yeah.
And so, what if you don't see it? Man, you catch somebody in the middle of the desert. It's or out in the brush.
I was just walking around.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. They're here illegally,
Yeah.
man. It's
Yeah.
common sense.
Or how I don't know if you remember, they would cover their eyes so we wouldn't see them.
Yeah. So but let's be careful, man. Let's not let the pendulum swing too much the other way, or the scales of justice too much to where you've got just a unilateral, I'm throwing you back.
Yeah, but
kind
the
of
reality is, too, Frank, is that the majority of people that immigrate legally to the United States want to be Americans.
Yeah.
The great majority of illegal aliens that come across don't want to be Americans. And I'm
It's
not,
economic opportunity.
It's economic opportunity, right? And not only for them, but for their country. I remember when President Fox was in office, and he stood there on their national television and started encouraging Mexican citizens to cross into the United States illegally, so that Mexico could benefit.
Yeah.
because he knew that their monies come back. And so every during the winter, you know, we see this I saw this every year when I was in the patrol. You know, come November, December, there's a mass exodus south,
Yeah.
right? And they dump all their monies. And it's not just Mexico; it's other countries
Central
as well.
America.
Yeah,
Remember
Central
those,
America.
those
Yeah.
cars headed south?
Yeah, they all go south, and all their monies are dumped into their countries. You
Then
know,
they sneak back across.
They sneak back across. You know, and then I don't know how many times I've heard, you know, the Eagle aliens singing Mexico Lindo when we were taking them back,
Yeah.
you know, to the bridge. And I would ask them, why do you come over here then if your pride is with your country? And you know, I would even ask some of them, do you ever want to be American citizens? The majority of them would tell me no. But on the flip side, you talk to a naturalized citizen who has done it the right
Jorge,
way, like Jorge, right? And they love it. Matter of fact, and why do they love it? Because they have to learn how to be Americans. Matter of fact, most naturalized citizens, Frank, know more about American history than the average college student.
Wow.
You know, and actually even the average high school student. You know, because they have to learn about American history, what it took to build this nation, and the freedoms that they had. I mean, we look at the. I think when we were talking with Jorge, I told you I saw a video not too long ago of a young man who came over here when he was 15 years old from Cuba. And it was the first time he ever tasted an apple.
Yeah.
You know.
So here's an idea. You know, as we're talking, bro, about this aspect of it, you know what, you know, people complain. We have ceded it. We have abdicated. We have given away, you know, so much in this country. So as well, I was thinking about the cartel charities down here on Las Vacas, you know, the humanitarian coalition here. So they're allowing this NGO to operate down there, bro.
Yeah.
And so they're giving them opportunity to bathe and diapers and all that other stuff, and you know, setting up their travel itinerary, you know, because Tony's travel service, you know, Congressman Tony Gonzalez travel service didn't fly him out of Laughlin for some reason.
Right.
This is a separate group, but we'll talk about Tony's travel tours later. Anyways, what if you were to get a group of patriotic-minded Americans, local Valverde patriots, to create a group, to move, bro, to interject themselves at that place, and they take care of their travel itinerary. We are here as patriot Americans to give them our founding documents, a copy of our founding documents, to give them a copy of what it means to be an American.
Yeah.
You know, something like that.
And even literature, maybe warning them of the, you know, impending socialism under this current administration. Because I say that because remember we talked to some of those people from Cuba.
Yeah.
Remember at that coalition, and when we explained to them that this
Biden wants to go that way.
Well,
I mean, and remember when we were working on the chaplaincy program, we had to wrap it in the secular. Remember, there was an underlying spiritual, void necessity that's part of the human condition. Every human heart, no matter how enlightened, how educated they are, there's a God hole that needs to be filled there.
Right.
Void. Anyways, so you'd have to be careful, bro. But you could wrap it up in a way that that how to be a productive member of American society.
Right.
How to engage as a person who has worth in the eyes of God, and how to be a productive member of America. I mean, and people go, well, hey, turn back. Look, folks. I mean,
but look at
they're coming in. I'm just saying, interject yourself in there at least. Do something.
But what I'm saying too, Frank, is we both know that if they don't go through our system, the reason we have an immigration system to immigrate here legally as well is because there are ideologies. There's a thing called the American way of life.
Yeah.
That's why Superman was always one of my favorite heroes and still is. Except the way he's going now. But anyway, it says he gives us truth, justice, in the American way. And that's what he fought for. And of course my wife would always tell me, he's not real, right? I said, but the idea is real. And so anyway, but if they don't understand the American way of life, Frank, those ideologies that they bring with them, they're still going to remain with them. And that's one of the big problems. That's why we have such like a big congregation of people in Michigan and in other states like that and the East Coast that are wanting to impose Sharia law. Which is unacceptable, which should be unacceptable here. We have some cultures that it's fine to take child brides, right? Man. We have some cultures that it's fine. It's culturally accepted were honor killings. take place, things like that. And but if they don't understand the American way of life, Frank, those things, they're just going to continue to get away with it.
They'll continue with what they know, bro.
Right.
They'll continue with what they know, and they come into, they're going to go to an environment. I mean, a lot of these Haitians are going to Florida, so where are they going in Florida? They go, are they headed up to, geez, tell me some city up in
Pensacola.
Pensacola. Are they going to, Tampa Bay? I don't know where they're going, man. But they're going to go hang out with people from their country, bro.
Yeah.
They're going to go hang out. So where's the opportunity there, for Americans who love America, who are patriotic, to insert themselves into their lives? They're here.
Yeah.
They're here, man. We may not like the way they're coming across. But they're here, so
more are coming,
more are coming, bro. And so I'm just simply saying, we can't just rant and rage, at the keyboard. And then so they'll say, well, what are you, Manny, doing? Look, man, bro, we're out here trying to create awareness. This is our own time, our own treasure, our own effort here. Nobody's paying. Now, yeah, occasionally we get a nice little, a donation, a show of support. And we appreciate that. But anyways.
But it takes money to set all this up as well.
It does, bro. And we can't, I don't know how many times we've been asked to run for this or run for that, or, become elected, try to get elected for this or for that. Folks, I mean, it takes all of us. It takes all of us to get involved. And it's really jacked up, man. It's unfair. Well, let me not go unfair. It's just... It is not morally right to ask of others what you would not be willing to do yourself, especially when it comes to conserving our republic, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, we all got to become we are stakeholders, whether we agree or not. We are stakeholders.
Right.
The outcome is going to affect us, our children, our grandchildren,
right.
And so we better freaking jump into the fight. Because they got us by the jugular here.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, if you're watching this program and you voted for these Democrats, here to come in office. First, I encourage you to get out of the Democratic Party. If you're going to vote Republican, make sure you investigate that candidate.
Vet that candidate.
Vet that candidate. But the reality as well, folks, is that if you voted for all these Democrats that come in office, don't think that they're not going to come for you when the time comes. Yeah. I was just reading a report right now this morning that the ATF has gathered over 56 million records of citizens who own weapons.
Yeah.
And what are they gathering them for? What do they need them for? And I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, Frank, at all. I do believe in Sasquatch, but
right on, bro. All right.
But to me, in my opinion, that's not a conspiracy.
This is the cryptid club here too, man.
Yes. But the reality is, we probably just lost half of our viewers. I'm just joking. But anyway,
no, you're not joking, bro.
But like I said, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. But the reality is, why do they need those records? If they're not planning on doing something. And I wouldn't put it past this administration, Frank. They've been throwing everything at the wall to see if it sticks, even knowing that it's unconstitutional. Right now, again, last night I was reading another article, another news report that a judge had barred Biden's mandates and firing people.
Yeah, for the corporate mandates. Right?
Yeah, for the corporate mandates.
So we're hoping the 15th there'll be some good news for the feds. And so, folks are going to say, hey, you harp a lot on the feds, etc. There's good feds, and there's just authoritarian feds, and that's what I'm concerned. ATF, bro, is just full of woke
FBI as well.
Yeah, liberal leftist, bro. It is, and so we need to be concerned. So is our armed forces, and so is our national security entities, bro. They're full of wokes.
And apparently our military is now too. Yeah. You see, because it always boggled my mind how these generals, brother, are just bowing down to this administration.
There's no pushback, bro. And so let's go down that little bunny trail. What you talked about, this 56 million Americans whose names are now in the hands of the ATF, bro.
Right?
The alcohol, tobacco, firearms, explosives. You'll see that as well out there. But anyways. I got a good buddy, bro, that knows some of these folks, and he says they are to the patriot American. you should be concerned about some of these folks that are in a position to enforce the law. And remember, increasingly, it's our politicians, our legislators that are making anti-American laws or edicts, as in the case of Biden. He just throwing it out there like some freaking supreme ruler, who expects his word to be obeyed. And what about the Constitution, man? And you heard me say it might be offensive to some folks, but to the left, socialists, members, some members of the Democrat Party, the Constitution is just toilet paper.
It is, bro.
Them.
It is.
They're perfectly content with what's going on in our country. Here locally, I see in the pages, Democrats who are, have no problem with some of their fellow citizens losing their jobs. Why? Because they want to stand on principle. It's not about whether the efficacy of the vaccine, though we can talk about that in some other show. But the fact that medical care of some type, medical treatment is being imposed on their fellow Americans, and they're okay with it. And it's that conditioning. Oh, what's wrong with shoving CRT down our children's throats? What's wrong? We've been in the politically correct movement, so what's wrong if we just turn up the heat a little bit more? And so it's troubling that here in Valverde County, where we live, and apply this as you will and as it applies to your county, that we got segments of our populace here are perfectly okay with increasingly authoritarian, draconian, tyrannical measures, disregarding freedom, disregarding the relationship between a doctor and a patient. They're disregarding all that. Just blanket, a blanket, remedy for everyone, when every single person is unique. Their DNA, their metabolism, their autoimmune systems, their immune systems, all that stuff is very unique. And so, and now there's increasingly, I saw somebody posting about, if you get vaccinated, the likelihood of whatever. There's, for every argument, there is a counter argument, Manny. And so it's up to you to research which of these two arguments has more truth. Either side, there's going to be some reaching, there's going to be some exaggeration, there's going to be some inaccuracies. But one side definitely, bro, it's more about lies. It's definitely more about lies and propaganda. And as you were talking about the 56 million folks whose names are now in the clutches of the ATF, you just take a lesson from history. Just go back to this last century, which we're only 21 years into this century. Some folks were alive during the period of time when the Nazis in Germany, bro, took over. The Socialist Party, the Democrat Socialist Party over there took over, and that's what they were called, bro. Yeah, they took over.
National Socialists, right?
The National, the National, but wasn't it Democrat National Party, something like that? I know there's Democrat. Yeah. Somebody fact check me, folks. Anyways, they took over, bro, and this is the main point. So few, just a few, controlling the masses, bro. Just relatively speaking, the percentage of the population that controlled the majority of the population. Now, here in America, I can hear it already. They would say, well, we have the silent majority, hoorah, and all this other stuff.
Well, quit being so silent, though, bro.
Get freaking involved. Get off the couch. Stop screaming. Stop screaming at the TV. Stop screaming at your computer, man. Stop kicking the can in your backyard or whatever. You go. Get involved. We need you to get involved, and it starts tonight, 6:30 p.m. Rudy's, man. Put your money where your mouth is. Stop talking and start walking.
Being so close to Veterans Day, and I got to make this distinction because it bothers me every year, bro. Yeah. There's Veterans Day. You can wish Frank and I a happy Veterans Day. Thank us for our service because we're alive, right? But Memorial Day, right? Yeah. Don't that's for those who have passed on, So there's that difference. Anyway. So, but when I joined the Army, Frank, and I pulled it up here, I took the oath of enlistment, and then when I joined the United States Border Patrol, I swore an oath as well. And in there, right, it says to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, right?
Yeah.
And I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. Now, here it does say I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed over me. But it also says, so help me God, right? And so, of course, there's a higher authority that we obey. But the reality, folks, is there's a man in office, and I refuse to call him president because he has violated the Constitution. You know, and this whole administration has basically spat on the Constitution. A document that is unchanged and is the United States is the only country in the whole world that's it's original. Now there's been amendments, but the reality the founding document is unchanged.
It is beautiful, man.
Right.
It's inspiring, bro. I mean, if it doesn't, if you got to read it and read the supporting documents, the Declaration of Independence, bro. Read the
Bill of Rights.
The Bill of Rights, the body of writings and literature that's out there, bro, is that our founding fathers,
right,
wrestle with the issues of their day,
right,
and came to the decisions, the conclusions, the course of action that they had to go to, bro. They had to, because some things may be different as far as the way it's working out, but essentially it was about there being a creator,
right,
who had given humanity, men and women, given them inalienable rights,
right.
And one of the life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and he gave it to them, and we had a tyrannical government,
right.
A monarchy in this point.
There comes a time.
Taking it away.
Yeah, there comes a time when you have to throw off, right? Such governments.
Yeah, and so we're not talking here
about going taking up arms right now.
Yeah, we're not talking about violence like that, but what I'm saying.
But you have to get involved in your local government to make a change.
And then also starting up. I mean, not necessarily party related groups. I mean, there's nothing that say that folks can get together, and there's some efforts out there. Social media, you've seen groups get together. Great. Now let's galvanize that. Let's harness that interest, that passion, that frustration. Let's harness that patriotism into action. And keeping in mind that part of where that effort should be directed at certainly is to find candidates for office, bro. We need to fill every conceivable level of elected office, appointed office, boards, the zoning planning commission boards, all that, the county appraisal district, staff it with employees and the boards.
And I'm gonna add this to it, and this also puts an end to small town politics as well, brother. And it's people getting involved that really aren't going to do much in a sense.
Yeah. Los compadres y los amigos and the buddy, the cronyism.
Right. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And that's
inject new blood.
Yeah, inject new blood, new ideas. One of the things that I hear people complain a lot about here and where we live at, Frank, is like no new businesses, come in. There's no healthy competition. Get involved, do something about it. But the reality as well, folks, is that we have voices, we have rights, and if we just sit back and change the channel and don't do anything about it, we're gonna see. Abraham Lincoln said that that a country would not be destroyed from an outside enemy, but from within. Yeah. The United States is, in my opinion, is the greatest country in the world. And of course for me next to Israel, but the reality as well is that, I look at the Declaration of Independence, I look at the Constitution, and I will never equate it with scripture, but I do admit that they had to be divinely guided. Yeah.
Providence, bro.
Right.
Providence, the guiding hand of God, man. Yeah. I totally, that's the way our nation was founded. Right. The Puritans and just the way our nation came to be, man. You got to see that God's hand was there.
And people can say, well, look, what about slavery? What about this? Look, folks, many nations start out and have bad things happen in their history. Yeah. But the reality is, if America is so bad, Frank, why are millions of people trying to pour in, every day to be a part of this country that's supposedly so bad?
Yeah, bro. And so, to use some very vivid imagery for you here. Think about that farmer out there, bro. He's got a milk cow.
Yeah.
You know, that cow only has a certain amount of udders there, bro.
Right.
So you can only get X amount of milk, but you got, you know, and you can only have X amount of, you know, suckers at the udders, bro. you know, so now you're trying to flood the farm, you know, with more people, and sound seems to have gone out. Oh, you're trying to flood the farm with more people that you can possibly, you know, support.
Right.
You know, and so there has to be. I mean, even the most leftist of people, bro. You know, when it comes to spending money, they'd rather spend somebody else's money. They're not going to spend their money.
Yeah.
You know, but because they know that it's unsustainable.
Well, look at like the famous quote of Margaret Thatcher. Whether I believe she said it. You know, the problem with socialism is that they eventually run out of other people's money. You know, and you know. Then you got a Venezuela,
or
and,
Cuba,
yeah, exactly, or you know these other socialist countries that have fallen. You know, folks, we really appreciate you joining us here this morning, and I just want to just remind you before we close out. We got a couple minutes before we close out. We do have a website. You know, tacoboutlive.com. Let me just throw this up on the screen here, and you can go there and visit us any time. We also upload our podcast there as well, so you can download our podcast. We're on Spotify, Amazon Music, and Podbean, and also on our Talk About It Live website. We do have a store now as well where you can go and visit us.
Support the effort.
Yeah, support the effort. Yeah, you can go and buy a Talk About It Live coffee mug. You know, and I actually got a sample the other day, and it's actually really nice, really good quality, and it holds my coffee. That's the important part.
Real quick, folks, I've already said it ad nauseum. Meeting tonight, Rudy, 6:30 p.m. Be there, be square. Shout out to Karen, Tina, Priscilla, Isabel, Tina Reyes Ortiz, Teresa. Good morning, Kelly. Good morning. Let's go down, Shireen.
HTX Renegade Radio, thank you so much for supporting us and getting our show out there. Thank you. We really appreciate what you guys do.
Out of Houston, Deborah, right?
Yeah.
Out of Houston.
Yeah.
Seferino and Sandra, James, Rose, Sonia, Rosalinda, Sandra Slayton. Thank you, Ken. Hey, guys, thanks for the shout-out. Judy, thanks for joining. Minta, Joseph, Isaac. Hey, what's up, brother? Real quick shout-out to Isaac T. Ruiz down in Eagle Pass. His Facebook keeps getting shut down. Why, folks? Why? Because Isaac is speaking the truth. Down in Eagle Pass. He's speaking against the machine down there. So we need to support Isaac T. Ruiz. Look for him in our comments. Barbara Eckenrod. Man, I'm going to have to find out what the bring them on camera thing is. AG Vela, Mel, Rose. You guys, Rhonda, thank you. Zenaida, HTX Renegade. Matthias, Shannon, Denise. Or Dennis, Dennis, okay. Fructoso, hey, what's up, brother? Thank you, sir. Joe, Kat, hey, thanks for jumping in. Nell, Deborah, Cecilia. Hey, John Dera out of El Paso, Texas.
Hey, man,
what's up, John?
One of our original chaplains from our original chaplain class.
Yeah,
man.
Hey, John, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us, bro.
Yeah, and we're also on YouTube live as well as Rumble. You know, so don't forget to visit us over there, folks. And we're also streaming live on our website as well, tacoboutitlive.com. So, folks, we want to thank you so much for joining us. Get out there, tell the truth. You know, we got a couple people on that are watching us today. HTX Renegade Radio, truth tellers out of Houston, Texas. Isaac Ruiz out of Eagle Pass, another truth teller as well, standing up and making their voices heard. It doesn't take much, but it takes to lift your voice. But it does take effort, and also it does cost some things, right? But we've counted the cost. We believe in what we're doing, and we just truly appreciate your support and for watching us and joining us every Taco Tuesday, God willing. That we'll be here. And so I guess we're gonna say,
hey, God bless y'all. Hey, keep praying, keep preparing. You know, be vigilant, stay alert, stay alive. God bless you.
Amen. God bless you. God bless America, and God bless Texas.
Yeah.